In recent developments that have captured global attention, reports suggest that former U.S. President Donald Trump has received a detailed and highly ambitious military plan aimed at seizing Iran's stockpile of enriched uranium. The proposal, described by major American newspapers as a commando plan, outlines a complex and potentially dangerous operation that could unfold over several weeks. While no final decision has been made, sources indicate that Trump is seriously considering the plan, signaling a possible escalation in tensions between the United States and Iran. Today we will talk about the high-risk mission to seize Iran's nuclear uranium. So before we start, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. The reported plan centers around a bold objective: physically capturing Iran's enriched uranium reserves rather than simply destroying nuclear facilities through airstrikes. Iran is believed to possess approximately 450 kilograms of enriched uranium, a quantity that raises significant concerns among Western powers regarding nuclear weapon development. By directly seizing the material, the United States would aim to eliminate the threat more decisively. According to available intelligence estimates, more than half of Iran's enriched uranium is stored deep underground in tunnels near the city of Isfahan. These tunnels are believed to be approximately 90 meters below ground level, making them extremely difficult to access. The remaining uranium is thought to be located at another major nuclear site in Natanz. This distribution of material across multiple heavily fortified locations adds complexity to any military operation designed to secure it. The uranium is reportedly stored in around 40 to 50 cylindrical containers, similar in size and shape to scuba diving tanks. While these containers are technically portable, extracting them from deeply buried and well-defended facilities would require extensive preparation, specialized equipment, and a sustained military presence. One of the most notable aspects of the plan involves transporting heavy excavation equipment, including large excavators, directly into Iranian territory. This would require the construction of a temporary runway to allow aircraft to land and support ongoing operations. Establishing such infrastructure inside a hostile country presents enormous logistical and strategic challenges. Because Iran would almost certainly resist any such operation, the plan includes deploying a significant number of U.S. ground troops. These forces would be responsible for securing the area around the nuclear facilities and protecting the excavation teams. The presence of ground troops indicates that this would not be a quick strike, but rather a prolonged and carefully coordinated mission. The operation would likely begin with a series of airstrikes targeting Iranian military capabilities. These initial strikes would aim to weaken Iran's defenses and establish air superiority. Following this phase, U.S. ground forces would be inserted into areas near the nuclear sites. But their primary task would be to create a secure defensive perimeter around the facilities. This defensive perimeter would function as a protective zone, allowing excavation teams to work with reduced risk of immediate attack. It would also enable U.S. forces to maintain control over the area while the uranium is located, extracted, and prepared for removal. In effect, this would create a temporary operational zone within Iranian territory. Operational challenges, risks, and strategic implications. The United States has already deployed thousands of troops to the Persian Gulf region, positioning them within operational range of Iran. Countries such as Kuwait and Iraq host U.S. military bases that are located a few hundred kilometers from key Iranian nuclear sites like Isfahan. While this proximity provides a logistical advantage but does not eliminate the risks associated with conducting operations deep inside Iran. Even with overwhelming air superiority, U.S. troops on Iranian soil would face serious threats. Iran possesses a wide range of missile systems, drones, and artillery that could be used to target American forces. These threats would persist throughout the duration of the operation, increasing the likelihood of casualties. In addition to long-range attacks, Iran could attempt to engage U.S. forces using its own ground troops. While large-scale troop movements might be limited by U.S. air power, smaller and more flexible units could still carry out attacks. These could include ambushes, hit-and-run tactics, and other forms of asymmetric warfare that would complicate the mission. Yes, another major concern involves the safety of the nuclear material itself. Excavating deep underground facilities that store enriched uranium carries significant risks. There is a possibility of radioactive exposure, especially if the material is damaged during extraction. Furthermore, there are concerns that the facilities could be rigged with traps or other defensive measures, making the excavation process extremely dangerous. The technical challenges are also considerable. Digging through approximately 90 meters of reinforced earth and rock would require advanced machinery and time. During this period, U.S. forces would need to maintain control of the area under constant threat of attack. Any delays or complications could significantly increase the risks. Despite these challenges, some defense experts believe that the operation is technically feasible. With sufficient planning, resources, and military support, it may be possible to successfully extract and remove the uranium. However, feasibility does not guarantee success, and the risks remain extremely high. If everything were to proceed as planned, the operation could take several weeks to complete, making it a prolonged and highly complex military undertaking. This would include the initial airstrikes aimed at weakening enemy defenses, followed by the rapid deployment of ground forces into strategically important areas. These troops would then establish secure defensive positions around the targeted sites, ensuring protection for both personnel and equipment. The next phase would involve extensive excavation work, which could be slowed by technical challenges, difficult terrain, and potential resistance. Finally, the uranium would need to be carefully located, secured, and transported out of the area under tight security. Some reports suggest that the operation could potentially be completed by mid-April, aligning with broader military timelines. But this estimate depends heavily on favorable conditions, minimal resistance, and precise coordination between air and ground units. Any unexpected complications, delays, or escalations in conflict could significantly extend the duration of the mission and increase the risks involved. Statements attributed to Trump indicate that he expects any conflict with Iran to be relatively short. He has suggested that military action could last 3 weeks, which is shorter than earlier estimates of 4 to 6 weeks. But this difference highlights the uncertainty surrounding the potential duration and complexity of the operation. Public opinion in the United States appears to be largely opposed to the idea of a ground invasion of Iran. Many Americans remain cautious about becoming involved in another extended military conflict in the Middle East. This domestic factor could influence the final decision on whether to proceed with the plan. Officials have emphasized that the role of the Pentagon is to prepare a range of options for the president. This means that the commando plan is just one of several possible strategies under consideration. The final decision would depend on a variety of factors, including military feasibility, political considerations, and potential consequences. At its core, the proposed operation reflects a broader objective shared by the United States and its allies, preventing Iran from developing nuclear weapons. Seizing the enriched uranium directly would represent one of the most decisive ways to achieve this goal, but it would also be one of the most risky. The reported commando plan represents a bold and complex approach to addressing a major global security concern. While it offers a potential path to eliminating Iran's enriched uranium stockpile, it also carries significant risks, including the possibility of a wider conflict and substantial casualties. As discussions continue, the international community remains watchful, aware that any decision could have far-reaching consequences. If you like this video and would like to see more like it, please give it the thumbs up. Leave a comment and click the button to subscribe.